Hey guys, so we're in Advanced Algebra, Chapter 2, Lesson 1, Part 1. Okay, I zoomed out so you can see I'm on the table of contents, and I'm on page 14, but you might be on a different page. And I went over here and went ahead and put Chapter 2, and I put 59 because it's on page 59. So even though we didn't have that initially, we might want to add that to our notes. And then please put the date. Today we're going to transform, and I can zoom in, but also you could turn to page 59 to copy it down. We're going to transform quadratic functions, describe the effects of changes in the coefficients of y equals a parentheses x minus h minus k. And remember that the quadratic looked like a parabola. It was like that U. Okay, so we're going to look at transforming that. So on whatever page you're on to take notes, please go ahead and put the objective up there and the date. We're going to transform quadratic functions. We're going to describe the effects of changes in the coefficient of y equals a parentheses x minus h into parentheses squared plus k. Also, it's on page 59. And over here on the side, I'm going to add 59. Page 59, and that way if I need to look in the book, I'm not confused later of where that was. And over here you should put the date. Okay, please put the date there. Okay, so example 1, if I look in my book, and example 1 is on page 59, like I said, the parent function, let's go ahead and put that back in our notes here. The parent function for the quadratic is f of x equals x squared. Okay, so we're looking at how the a, the h, and the k can move that basic u. It's going to move it up or down, it's going to move it left or right, and it's going to compress it or stretch it. Okay, so example 1, and I'm just going to put the book up here because we're going to look at example 1 together. If I can get it in there, let's see, there we go. So example 1, it says f of x equals x squared plus 6x, x squared minus 6x plus 8. And then they made it x and a y table, basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They substituted in and got the new points. They graphed some points on one side of the U, some points on the other, and they just kind of smoothed it out and made those points. Okay, so the steps are to make a table, okay, which you've done several times just to graph something. Make a table, plot points, and you want to make sure that you get points on both sides of that U, and then make a smooth graph. Okay, it's more like a sketch because you're just going to kind of smoothly connect those points and make that graph. So let's do the first check it out together. So check it out, the graph is, so check it out, number 1. Oops, let me scoot that over just a little bit. Check it out, number 1. It's g of x equals negative x squared plus 6x minus 8. Okay, so we're going to make a table, we're going to plot points on both sides, and then we're going to see what it looks like, make a smooth graph. So I'm going to have a column for x, a column for g of x equals, actually I don't have to put all of that, I'm just going to put negative x squared plus 6x minus 8. And what in the book, they did all of that on one line, and we're going to take a few lines because we're actually going to follow the order of operations and work that out. And then we've got x comma f of x. So the answer to this, and this. So it's kind of like before when we made our chart and we had an x and a y. So I'm making this chart here. And the trickiest part is to know what numbers to start with. But I'm going to start with negative 1. Okay, negative 1. So I'm going to have minus negative 1 squared plus 6 times negative 1 minus 8. Okay, order of operations, I'm going to do parentheses, multiply, and then add and subtract. So negative 1 times negative 1 is 1, but then I have this negative up front. So it's going to be negative 1 plus 6 times negative 1 is a negative 6, and then minus 8. So I'm going to do my change and do plus negative 8. And then I'm going to add from left to right. I have negative 1 plus negative 6. So I have negative 7 plus negative 8. So I have negative 15. I'm going to go ahead and just write it right there, negative 15. So when x is equal to negative 1, f of x is equal to negative 15. That's going to be one of the points that I'm going to use. Okay, I'm going to draw my line there, and I'm going to use 0. Okay, let's see what happens at 0. So at 0 we have negative 0 squared plus 6 times 0 minus 8. Okay, 0 times 0 is 0. Negative 0 doesn't really exist, so that's just 0. Plus 0, so 0 plus 0 minus 8 is equal to negative 8. So when x is equal to 0, f of x is equal to negative 8. Okay, let's do 1. I'm going to draw a line there. Let's do 1 when x is equal to 1. So we have negative out front here, negative 1 squared plus 6 times 1 minus 8. I'm going to scoot that up so we can see a little easier. So 1 times 1 is 1, so I have negative 1 plus 6 minus 8. I'm going to go ahead and do my change on that 8. So negative 1 plus 6 is 5, plus negative 8 is negative 3. Let's go ahead and extend this down. And I've got 1 comma negative 3. Draw my line there. I'm going to do 2. Let's skip one. Let's go ahead and do 3. See what this graph really looks like. Let's do 3. So I have negative in parentheses 3 squared plus 6 times 3 plus negative 8. I'm going to go ahead and just write it like that right off the bat. Okay, so I have 3 times 3 is 9. So I've got negative 9 plus 18 plus a negative 8. So I have 9 plus negative 8. So I get 1. So at 3, when x is 3, f of x is equal to 1. Okay, and we're going to do 2 more points. We're going to do 5 and 7. Get 5. So I have negative 5 squared plus 6 times 5 plus negative 8. Okay, so 5 times 5 is 25. I apologize for that shadow. 5 times 5 is 25. So negative 25 plus 30 plus negative 8. So I've got 5 plus negative 8, which gives me negative 3, which I see a reflection here. So I've got 5 comma negative 3. Okay, let's see how this goes. We're going to do 2 more. We're going to do, no, 1 more. We're going to do 7. Okay, 7. So at 7, I'm going to use the same thing, right? So I have negative 7 squared plus 6 times 7 plus negative 8. So 7 times 7 is 49. So I have negative 49 plus 42 plus a negative 8. So I've got 7, negative 7 plus negative 8, which is negative 15. So 7 comma negative 15. Okay, Whoops, see if you can see that there. Okay, so these are the points I'm going to use. I'm going to go to -1 on the x, -15, and put a dot. So let's get our graph. Go ahead and snag a sticky note graph from me. I'm going to put them right here. I'll put it right there. I have some space. And I'm going to go -1, -15. And this only goes to 10. So I'm just going to come down here and put a dot because it's going to just be way down there. Okay? 0, -8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to put a big dot there to make sure I can see it. And I got that one graphed. I'm going to go 1, -3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, put a dot there. I'm going to go 3, 1, 2, 3, comma 1. I'm going to go 5, 5, comma, okay, I'm good. 2, 4, 5, comma, -3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we see the other side of that U. Okay, it looks like a hill now, though it's upside down. And then I'm going to have 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, -15. So it's going to be way down here again with the other one. So then I'm just going to take this and make it as smooth as I can. And it shouldn't look like a V, it should look more like a U. So this should be rounder, right? And like I said, it's a sketch. We're just going to put arrows down here. It's a sketch, round it out, make it go through those smoothly, and then just put arrows. And there you go, that's what the graph looks like. So to make it by making a chart, you're going to make a chart and you're going to graph it. If you need help figuring out which points to use because you have points on both sides, use your graphing calculator. Put this in the graphing calculator, see what it looks like, so you can get an idea of what your range should be, and then just pick points in there. Okay, guys? So now you are going to work the guided practice, and the guided practice is on page 64, and you're going to do 2 through 4. So on page 64, you're going to do numbers 2 through 4. And please, please ask for help if you need it. Okay, guys, thanks.